Hello friends, myself Professor Shantay Gurmut, Department of Botany, MGVC Arts, Commerce and Science College, Mudde Bihar, Karnataka State. Friends, today's class we discuss about part 3, Pteridophytes. The best example is Lycopodium. Example Lycopodium is comes under division Lycophyta, class E Ligulopsida, order Lycopodiales, family Lycopodiaceae, genus Lycopodium. Lycopodium is a cosmopolitan genus with about 180 species that are found under varied habitats. Some of them grow in the colder climates of the Arctic regions. There are others that habit temperate, tropical, and subtropical regions of the world. Most of the tropical species are epiphytic and grow hanging, forms the tree trunks of Lycopodium phlegmaria, Lycopodium squarosum, Lycopodium longifolium, Lycopodium finiform are all Indian species. The temperate species grow in open woodlands and on moist and acidic soils. The best examples are Lycopodium lucidulum and Lycopodium reflexum are erect and shrub by forms forms Lycopodium clavatum, Lycopodium inundatum, and Lycopodium cernum are creeping forms. Lycopodium holubli is a climber. The creeping forms give out erect branches at intervals. See friends, this is the Lycopodium plant, the external structure of Lycopodium plant. Then we discuss about the external structure of Lycopodium plant. Lycopodium plant body is divided into three parts: stem, root and leaf. The stem is dichotomously branched. The two branches formed as a result of dichotomy may be equal and continue to grow and undergo further dichotomy, or the two branches of a dichotomy may be unequal. That is, one of them remains small and other grows to a greater length. The smaller or the weaker branches may ultimately stop growth and bear strobili or cone. This type of branching is unequal dichotomy is called pseudomonopodial. The best example is Lycopodium clavatum. Then we discuss about the leaf. The leaves are simple, sessile and small in size and possess a single median vein that fails to reach the leaf apex. Such leaves are called microphyllous or microphyls. The leaves lack a ligule. The leaves may be isophilous or anisophilous. The best example is Lycopodium holubli. Next, we discuss about the roots. The roots are dichotomously branched, adventitious, and arise endogenously from the lower side of the prostrate stem in acropetalous manner. In the erect forms, the roots come out from the basal part of the stem. Next, we discuss about the internal structure of Lycopodium. The first we discuss about the transverse section of Lycopodium stem. Stem shows three important regions: epidermis, cortex, and fascicular region or stele. The first we discuss about the epidermis. It is a single layer of parenchymatous cells with cutinized outer walls and stomata. Next we discuss about the cortex. It is present next to the epidermis and shows greater variation in its thickness and structure. Usually three types are recognizable. In some cases, the whole of the cortex is made up of thin-walled cells. They enclose small or larger intercellular spaces. Such cortex is called homogeneous. The best example is Lycopodium selago. In some species, the cortex in the mature stem is made up of wholly of sclerenchymatous cells. There are no intercellular spaces between the cells. In others, Lycopodium clavatum, the cortex is differentiated into three zones. The first one is outer hypodermis with thick walled cells. The middle thin walled cells, the inner zone is thick walled cells. The layer of cortical cells is called, the last layer of the cortical cell is called endodermis. See friends, this is the internal structure of the Lycopodium stem. Epidermis and cortex is divided into three regions: outer cortex, middle cortex and inner cortex. Outer cortex is made up of parenchyma, middle cortex is made up of sclerenchyma, and inner cortex is made up of parenchyma. And endodermis encloses with a single layered pericycle, and it encloses with vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. Next, in vascular region or stele, pericycle is present next to the endodermis, and it is composed of one or many layers of compactly arranged parenchymatous cells. The stele consists of only primary tissues. There is a primary xylem and primary phloem. The sporelings of all the species of Lycopodium show a central protostele with radiating arms, that is the actinostele condition. The first one is actinostele, in which the xylem appears star-shaped with the protoxylem situated at the tips of the star-shaped projections and is exarched. The best examples are Lycopodium selago and Lycopodium serratum and Lycopodium phlegmaria. Then plectostele, in which the xylem in a transverse section appears to be in the form of separate plates. The best examples are Lycopodium clavatum and Lycopodium holubli. And third one is mixed protostele, in which the xylem and phloem are uniformly distributed and embedded in the phloem, which forms the ground mass. The best example is Lycopodium cernum. The xylem is exarched. Then we discuss about the internal structure of Lycopodium leaf. It shows three regions: epidermis, mesophyll and vascular region. The epidermis is single layer of compactly arranged cells with suitable and thick outer pericranial walls, which are also covered by a layer of cuticle. Then mesophyll, it is undifferentiated and consists of loosely arranged chlorophyll cells with small or large intercellular spaces. Then vascular region, a single unbranched vascular strand transverse the leaf. Next, we discuss about the internal structure of Lycopodium root. It shows three regions: epidermis, cortex and stele. Epidermis, it consists of a single layer of thin walled cells and is covered by numerous root hairs. Then cortex, in mature roots the cortex forms a broad zone and can be differentiated into two distinct regions: the outer, which is composed of several layers of thick walled cells, and in the inner parenchymatous cortex. Endodermis and pericycle are no distinguishable. Then we discuss about the stele. The stele may be diarch, tetrarch or polyarch. In most of the protostele, most of the prostrate or creeping species, the examples are Lycopodium clavatum. The stele is polyarch. There is no pith, and the stele consists of 6 to 10 plates of xylem arranged in a radial fashion. The xylem is exarch. The metaxylem is radial plate of xylem unites in the center to give a star-shaped appearance. Next, we discuss about the reproduction. First one is the vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction by number of methods. The first method is formation of gymi or bulbils. These are modified vegetative structures that arise as a lateral outgrowth from near the stem apices and take the places of leaves. They have been reported in Lycopodium selago, Lycopodium phlegmaria and Lycopodium lucidum. Then we discuss about the fragmentation, death and decay of older regions of the stem, leading to the separation of younger branches which grow into separate plants is also a common method of vegetative propagation in Lycopodium. Lastly, we discuss about formation of resting buds. The apical buds of rhizome and its branches store food material and become surrounded by densely crowded leaves. Then the reproduction by spores. The strobilus, the aggregation of sporophylls is called strobilus. The arrangement of sporophylls may be loose when they form a loose strobilus, or they may be arranged compactly to form a compact or definite strobilus. The compact type of strobilus in a stem with short internodes bearing sporophylls. Then we discuss about the sporangium. Sporangium is mostly reniform or kidney shaped and sometimes subspherical. It usually rises on a short and massive stalk. The sporangia arise singly and may be exposed or protected. They vary in color from orange to yellow. Then we discuss about the structure of sporangium. The sporangium clearly shows two prominent regions. One is stalk and capsule. The stalk may be just represented uh, by a cushion of cells. Next, we discuss about the capsule. The stalk bears a curved and reniform capsule, which is not lobed in a unilocular. It has three or more layered walls surrounding a mass of spore mother cells. The innermost layer of wall is called the tapetum. The tapetum the sporogenous cells separate and round off from the spore mother cells which undergo meiosis to produce the tetrads. Tetrads are tetrahedral and behind the scattering their own walls, secreting their own walls, they separate into spores. The number of spores per sporangium varies considerably. See friends, this is the longitudinal section of Lycopodium strobilus. Next we discuss about the gametophyte or prothallus. It starts with the spore that germinate to give at a new individual called gametophyte. The Lycopodium is homosporous. The spores are unicellular and range in diameter between 0.03 to 0.05 mm. The spores occur in a tetrads and hence they have a tetrahedral shape with a rounded or semicircular base. Each spore has a triradiate ridge and is enclosed within a thin or thick spore wall. The spore wall is two layers. Each spore has a single haploid nucleus and surrounded by cytoplasm which is filled with reserve food materials. The chloroplast may or may not be present. Then we discuss about the spore germination. The time taken by the spore germinate varies from few days after their liberation from the sporangium to several years. The spores germinate under moist conditions. They absorb water and swells up. See friends, this is the various types of gametophyte or prothallus in Lycopodium. This Lycopodium bears gametophyte bears two kinds of sex organs. One is antheridium and another one is archegonium. And structure of mature prothallus. The prothallus in Lycopodium cernum has an erect cylindrical body only 2 to 3 millimeters long. It grows at the surface of the ground and consists of a colorless basal portion buried in the soil and a conspicuously lobed aerial crown that is green and bears sex organs at the base of the green lobes. The rhizoids are restricted to the lower buried portion, which also contains an endophytic fungus. This prothallus is independent because it manufactures its own food. It forms a rim around the cylindrical upper part of the prothallus. The sex organs develop from cells to cut off by the meristem. And the youngest is present near the meristem. The portion of prothallus bearing the sex organs is called generative zone. Next, we discuss about the sex organs. In Lycopodium, sex organs are monoecious. The first we discuss about the antheridia. A mature antheridium is either compactly embedded in the tissues of the prothallus. The example is Lycopodium chelagum, or slightly projecting. It has a single layered parentheridial wall with a distinct triangular opercular cell. The wall encloses with a large number of spermatocytes whose protoplasts metamorphose into biflagellate spermatozoids or antherozoids. Next, we discuss about the female sex organ, archegonium. A mature archegonium is distinguishable into a slightly broader and embedded lower portion called the venter and projecting part called neck. The neck is made up of 4 rows of cells, each row 3 to several cells high. The neck encloses with neck canal, which contains 1 to 16 neck canal cells. The venter has venter canal cells and an egg cell. Lastly, we discuss about the fertilization. It is effected in the presence of water, through which the biflagellate spermatozoids swim and reach the open archegonial neck. Only one spermatozoid is able to reach the egg and effect fertilization. Then embryo. The nucleus of the oospore divides into two daughter nuclei that are separated by a transverse wall. It results in the formation of epibasal and hypobasal cell, then by further division to produce the embryo. Lastly, we discuss about the life cycle of Lycopodium. The Lycopodium plant itself is sporophyte. It produces a strobilus or cone. This strobilus bears number of sporophylls. Each sporophyll contains a sporangium. Each sporangium contains a fertile cell is spore mother cell. This spore mother cell by reductional division or meiosis to produce the haploid spores. Each haploid spore at suitable condition to germinate to produce the prothallus or gametophyte. This gametophyte or prothallus bears two kinds of sex organs. One is antheridium and another one is archegonium. The antheridium produces the sperms or antherozoids and archegonium produces the egg by the effect of fertilization to form a zygote or oospore. Then the zygote by further division to produce the embryo, then it produces the Lycopodium plant. Here in Lycopodium life cycle, there are two important generations. One is gametophytic and another one is sporophytic generation. Gametophytic generation is restricted and sporophytic generation is dominant. Okay. Thank you friends. We meet in the next video.